She struck me there, in front of 200 witnesses, a string quartet, and a priest who hadn't even finished the blessing. The smack of her hand against my cheek rang through the hall like a gunshot. Gasps fluttered across the crowd, a symphony of shock. Her veil quivered as she turned, clutching her hand as if it burned. And I remained still. I just stared at her, calm, unflinching, while the soft lights kissed my cheek. Behind her, her mother lingered, a serpent in silk whispering poison into her ear. I saw it, the fleeting guilt in her daughter's eyes. For a moment, she didn't know why she'd done it, only that her mother had commanded it. Everyone awaited my reaction. The groom, humiliated on his own wedding day. Yet I didn't shout. I didn't storm out. I lifted my head, straightened my collar, and smiled. That smile destroyed her. We had met 3 years ago at a charity gala, one of those superficial events where everyone pretends to care about causes they couldn't even pronounce. She shone not because of her beauty, though she had it, but because she could make a person feel like they were the only one in the room. She looked at me like that, back then. I believed it meant something. She laughed at my cynicism, my quiet detachment, called me too serious for my age. I told her she was too trusting for hers. We crossed paths repeatedly. Soon, her world had folded seamlessly into mine. Her mother was the first warning sign, a woman who smiled like a politician but listened like a lawyer. She never saw me, only through me. Each word from her was a calculation, every sentence a transaction. But love blinds, or worse, numbs. The first cracks were small. Late-night messages she wouldn't explain. Calls taken outside with a hushed tone. "Work," she said. Then the way her mother's driver dropped her off when she claimed she'd taken a cab. I didn't accuse, I observed. When trust shatters, the mind becomes forensic. Every glance is evidence. Every pause, a confession. One evening, she fell asleep on the couch, her phone unlocked beside her hand. I hadn't intended to look, but it lit up on its own. A message from a man named Daniel. "Don't worry, she'll never find out. After the wedding, he'll be gone." I stared at the screen until my reflection stared back. It was undeniable. This wasn't love, it was a scheme. Her mother had found herself a fool with money, and her daughter was the instrument. I didn't confront her. Confrontation empowers the guilty. Silence empowers the patient. So I smiled. I planned. My company, my father's legacy, was to merge with her family's firm after our marriage. I held majority shares, but through the marital clause her mother's lawyers demanded, she would gain joint control. Publicly, I agreed. Privately, I rewrote the rules. First, I met with my legal team in secret. A silent clause was added. Any attempt to transfer assets or manipulate ownership without my written consent would void her stake. Second, I placed all financial control into a trust under my godfather's name, effective the morning of the wedding. By the time she walked down the aisle, the empire she believed she was marrying into was already protected. Timing was the only thing left. At the rehearsal dinner, her mother toasted me, "To the man who will make our daughter the happiest woman alive." I raised my glass. "And to the woman who taught her how to lie with elegance." Laughter rippled through the room. Everyone laughed, everyone except her. Fear, not guilt, finally glimmered in her eyes. The wedding itself was pristine. A cathedral drenched in white and pretense. She approached, veil trembling, a secret trying to hold its breath. Her mother leaned close before the vows, whispering something poisonous. I didn't hear it, but I saw its effect. Then the slap, instant, brutal. Her mother's smile widened. I stood steady, face angled so the world could see the calm beneath the mark. Then I spoke, just loud enough for the microphone, "It's all right. She's realized her plan failed." Murmurs of confusion spread. Her mother froze. "You see," I continued smoothly, "marriage relies on trust. But when one party signs under false pretenses, the law deems it void, which means this wedding never happened." A few gasps. The priest stuttered. I turned to the guests, then back to her. "And as of this morning, your mother's company has been audited. Fraud, embezzlement, false filings, all tied to her accounts. Evidence left in the emails sent through your phone." Her face went pale. Her mother's too. You were the bait, I whispered, close enough for her to hear. And I took it. Now watch what happens to the hand that struck me. That night, headlines exploded. CEO cancels wedding amid corporate scandal. Financial empire collapses following fraud revelations. Her mother was arrested in 48 hours. The daughter remained uncharged, but public opinion is harsher than any jury. Invitations weren't even down before she became a scandal. Brand deals gone, friends vanished. I didn't block her calls, I wanted her to hear the silence she'd created. Weeks later, she appeared at my office, hollow-eyed. You destroyed me, she said. I looked up, signed one last document, and said, no, you did. People imagine revenge as fire. It isn't. It's ice, sharp, still, and clean. The night after the wedding, I stood by the window of the hotel room meant for us. Below, the city pulsed, oblivious. I thought of her smile, how easily it became a weapon, and then the look in her eyes when the truth hit. Masks always crack from the inside. I didn't get a fairy tale ending. I got closure. She turned my love into leverage. I turned her betrayal into proof. Now, when people ask why I smiled that day, why I didn't fight or cry, I tell them, the moment she slapped me, I knew the show had begun.